Skies for us out here over the beautiful, as always, Doak Campbell Stadium. Right now, 78 degrees, partly cloudy, winds from the south at 12. So nice conditions here in Tallahassee. An overall nice day across the Tallahassee area. Seeing maybe just a few spotty clouds, some southerly winds, and possibly a shower or two in the Tallahassee area, but not expecting much for us over the next few days here. Maybe just a little bit of severe weather in the future, but we are watching for the chance of some severe weather in the deep south later tonight. Here are our current temperatures in the 80s for us here in the 70s. For tonight's headlines, we're watching the chance for severe storms in the southeast. Again, we have that moderate risk, chance for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. We'll talk about the Fujiwara effect, tell you exactly what that is, and the chance for some rain, possibly some claps of thunder, and maybe some severe weather later this weekend. All of this and more on tonight's edition of FSU Weather.
Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Melissa Geiger, and we are off to an active start with our weather for this weekend. We're looking at severe weather possible for today and tomorrow and maybe even Sunday going into this weekend for the southeast. And that is a threat for wind, hail, tornadoes, and maybe even some flooding. So big concerns going on, especially with a large enhanced risk by the Storm Prediction Center out over our southeast states right now. And we'll be going into that after the show, so make sure you stay tuned. But if you are in the line of these storms and going to be impacted by these storms, don't be afraid. We're going to be talking about tornado safety later on in the show. So just stick with us and you'll be aware of how to stay safe. Unfortunately, this storm that is coming with a cold front is not really going to drop our temperatures a whole lot. We'll have a small jump in temperatures going into the middle of the week, going into maybe the low highs of the 69s. But really not seeing a whole lot of cool temperatures. It's going to jump right back up into the 80s by the end of this week, so not the best conditions. But with these warming temperatures, you're probably aware hurricane season is also coming up as well. So we're going to jump right into that and start kicking off our hurricane awareness here on the show and talking about the Fujiwara effect today on our education segment. But we'll go over this all this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley with your Friday edition of FSU Weather. We're looking live at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's absolutely beautiful out today if you're out and about. It's about 78 degrees outside, partly cloudy. We have some slight winds coming in, but overall it's beautiful conditions outside. St. George Island, doesn't that just look beautiful? There's a beautiful water out there. I would love to be there right now. 71 degrees, sunny, and again some slight winds. Bradfordville is looking gorgeous as well. We have great conditions over Florida. It's 81 degrees and mostly sunny. There's some slight winds, again, coming from the south. That's just coming through as this storm is going to be pushing through. Looking at the hour by hour, we started low today. We had some low conditions in the 60s, and then we just climbed and climbed and climbed to the 80s, and we're sitting at a gorgeous 80 degrees right now, and it's absolutely beautiful outside. Today's temperature, 4 degrees, just below the record we reached in 1929. However, we're nowhere the low record, thank God. That's a little chilly for me. The pollen report, I would stay out. If you have allergies, I would stay inside today. The grass pollen allergies is pretty high. Overall, though, we have nice clear skies right now. But through the night tonight, we're going to start to see a little bit of showers, and the clouds will start to come in. But right now it's clear outside. 81 degrees in Tallahassee, and as we get towards the coast, it's going to be a little cooler from the sea breeze coming in. We're sitting in the 80s throughout the whole Big Bend area, and it's a nice day to get outside. Looking at the dew point, it's sitting at 62 degrees, pretty mild. This is kind of rare for this time of year. This is more like conditions that we would see sometime near May. We're seeing it a little early this year. And tonight in Tallahassee is going to be 68 degrees. So if you have the chance, I would get outside, and it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And as we were saying, you're going to see those winds coming up and the clouds coming in through the night going into Saturday. And if you can see above, we have the storm pushing right through, and we're going to cover that a little more later, but we're looking at this storm coming in. 81 degrees tomorrow in Tallahassee. However, we are going to have storms, so be on the lookout for that. This whole area pretty much is going to have storms, but we're still going to be sitting in the 80s and 70s in the Big Bend area. Tonight in Tallahassee is going to be a beautiful 65 degrees. I suggest getting outside. It's going to be slightly cloudy. However, it's going to be slight winds as well. It's a nice night outside today. Tomorrow, I would soak in the sun today because tomorrow is going to be thunderstorms. 81 degrees and a little bit windier as that storm is coming through. It's still going to be mild temperatures though. And looking at the week ahead, again this weekend we're seeing the rain. We're going to see rain for the next couple of days, but we're going to stay in the warm temperatures. And throughout the week, we're going to cool down a little bit to the upper 70 degrees, but overall we're going to stay nice and mild. Thursday, we're looking at a nice sunny sky, 81 degrees, and throughout the week, we're just going to keep warming up. However, if you can notice, our low temperatures are going to drop a little lower, and we're going to be around the 50s. So in the morning, you may need a jacket, but as we get to the week, we're going to have a nice week ahead. And Chase is going to talk about Florida for us.
All right, thank you, Summer. We're going to take a little zoom out and take a look at what's going along across the great state of Florida. As you can see, there's really nothing going on radar. However, we do have big storms just off to our west and the southeast throughout Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, which we will get into later into the show. But in our area, nothing to really be concerned about tonight. Looking at Miramar Beach down by Destin, gorgeous, gorgeous day to be out on the beach, taking in the sun, jumping in the water, taking a little dip. It's a beautiful day. You guys had mild temperatures around 73. Little gusty, though, as we do have that bit of a sea breeze. You're getting some gusty winds off the ocean. Looking at our panhandle area, there's really not much on radar. Like I said, pretty clear night, great night to go out, have a good time, and get up to whatever you want. And looking at Orlando, wow, look at that. Clear, blue skies, barely any clouds in sight, gorgeous day. But however, with those gorgeous blue skies comes that extremely hot weather, 89 degrees and sunny. Little bit wind, little bit gusty. However, that is extremely hot for March. This is something we'd see more along the lines of July, August. So extremely warm for you folks down there. Looking at our North Florida radar, same story, nothing really going on radar. Beautiful night again for all you folks. Now Duck Keys down in the Middle Keys. Beautiful day, some clouds in the sky. Look at that gorgeous blue water. Love to dive right in. Gorgeous night for you folks down there. A little warm, 81 degrees. Again, we are a little windy down there as we do have that breeze off the ocean, as we do have the Gulf on one side, and we have the Atlantic on the other, so you guys do get some gustier winds. Across South Florida, again, same story. Clear, gorgeous night, just some ground scatter off the radar. Beautiful night for you folks if you want to go out. Current temperatures throughout the Florida, we are the big red thumb today as we have those warm temperatures, a little bit cooler up in the panhandle, but warmer as you do go south. Now, looking at our dew points, not really the green thumb today. We do have milder dew points, but as you go south, 73 dew point in Key West. As you folks are surrounded by water, we do expect to see higher dew points. But all in all, not too bad, not super muggy, but it is muggy as it can be. Tonight, wow, upper 60s is going to be a warm night. As you go further south, it is going to drop. It is going to rise into the lower 70s, so it is pretty warm for you folks. However, being from down South Florida, I know how it is, so it's not really that much for us folks that live down there. Future radar, as we can see some clouds starting to work into Tallahassee tomorrow, as you do have those storms start to work their way towards the east, as we do have an arriving cold front start to work its way into the area. This is the same cold front that's causing that severe weather out to our west. However, tomorrow we are seeing extremely warm temperatures, 92 degrees in Orlando. That is summertime weather if I've ever seen it. However, we are only in spring, so extremely warm temperatures. Tallahassee, you're going to be 81, and as we go south, we are seeing the mid to lower 80s all across the area. Now, Ryan, what's going on across the country?
Well, the rest of the southeast isn't as lucky as we are with these warm temperatures because right now they're dealing with a severe weather threat. However, looking across the southeast right now, Charlotte, Tampa, Nashville, New Orleans, y'all are looking great right now, and temperature-wise, you're staying pretty comfortable, almost warmer than average for this time of year. So looking at the southeast, we'll notice this big front with this low pressure system. That's bringing severe weather to Arkansas, Louisiana, and it's going to start working its way into Tennessee and Mississippi over the next few hours. Temperature-wise, staying around mid to upper 80s across most of Florida, 79 down in Tampa, 79 in Miami as well. And across the Carolinas, we're also seeing temperatures nearing 80 degrees, quite warm for this time of year. Just early spring, and we're already seeing temperatures getting quite warm. Now, we'll notice in Little Rock and Jackson, New Orleans, that's where we're going to start seeing that severe weather move through tonight, and we'll see on the backside some cooler temperatures, a little bit of relief in that. Wind-wise, we're getting quite a gust off The Gulf of Mexico right now, 13 miles per hour in Tallahassee. We'll know 17 miles an hour in Birmingham, getting up to 12 miles per hour in New Orleans. And with that, we're seeing a lot of wind off these thunderstorms. Some of these storms may even be able to produce some strong winds or tornadoes. So we'll notice that as this weekend progresses that this front will work its way to the east and bring showers and storms more towards Alabama, Georgia, and into Florida over the next few hours. Then the front will kind of dip its way further to the south come Sunday, bringing another round of showers and storms to the areas that we've already seen some storms move through. On the start of the work week, we'll see the showers and storms start to work their way to the east. So for most of us here in the southeast, we're going to be dealing with storms throughout the weekend, but there will be the opportunity to get out and about over the next few days. So we'll notice on the backside of this front that temperature, or at least muggy-wise, humidity-wise, we're going to be seeing some relief through much of Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, and even Louisiana, where it's going to feel a lot nicer out. And notice, like Chase mentioned, the green thumb, Florida, we're going to stay green. We're going to stay pretty humid because that's what Florida likes to do, right? So Charlotte, we'll notice tomorrow we're going to see a higher chance for rain, and then 80 degrees for the next few days. We'll notice by Monday, that's when the front's going to work its way in. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s and rain for Monday and Tuesday. Same with Nashville. We're going to see nice weekend ahead for Nashville, temperature-wise, sitting in the mid to upper 60s tomorrow, warming up to the 70s by Sunday and the start of work week before cooling down by Tuesday. Saturday and Sunday in Tampa, the whole weekend is just looking gorgeous, and rain-wise, we are looking pretty good, as well as New Orleans, staying quite comfortable. We'll notice a few showers and storms work their way and come Monday and Tuesday. Now, national forecast, how's that look?
Well, it looks very interesting, Ryan. Right now, here is our surface map, and here's the state of play right now. We have cold fronts and low pressures across the nation. Here is a storm system responsible for that severe weather. We're going to talk a little about more tonight. That low pressure extending with this frontal system is helping to generate some of that storm activity right now. An important quality for that is the water vapor. Seeing that ahead of this front, a lot of that water vapor is being advected north, and you see quite a few of those showers and thunderstorms really starting to pop off in the Arkansas area now. Those darker blues and even into yellows there, that's showing high levels of water vapor, what you need for thunderstorm development. Behind that front has a lot of drier air, and generally as a whole across the nation, that drier air is found in Texas and Oklahoma with marginally moist air across the rest of the West. So that's generally the state of play here. Ahead of the front, more moist air. Behind the front, a little drier air. And the temperature is also really easy to see that front. Right there, that contrast. Ahead of that contrast, things a little bit warmer than behind. And this is that colder air behind that front over there. 70 in Dallas, 80 in Tallahassee. Only 44 in Detroit, though, so a lot colder air up you get closer to Canada. 51 in Boston, then go over to California. 55 and 61, feeling pretty seasonable at this point over in the West Coast. For our dew points, really showing that dry air all the way out west, down to 9 degrees. That's the difference between you have that air temperature that's a little bit warmer and this dew point, which is a little bit cooler. That's your difference between how much moisture you have in the air. You can really see that front right there. This isn't a dry line, it's just a front with a lot of dry air behind it. And ahead, this is that warm sector that you always hear when they talk about severe weather. Warm sector, that means you have this warm and moist area where it's possible for those severe thunderstorms to develop throughout the day. Here's your temperature anomaly, and this is what you expect to see with the front here. You have cooler air behind and warmer air ahead of your front. And this, again, like I said, warm sector, you can really see how much warmer it is even than you would normally expect this time of year ahead of that cold front. Things really starting to cool off down in the west, particularly towards Utah and Nevada, where you see those darker purples over there. Your minimum temperature anomalies, that's honestly an even better way to see how much warmer or cooler it is than the day, because we set record highs a lot, but record lows you set even more generally when you have a high temperature event. And the whole southeast, even into parts like Virginia and Kentucky, and even parts on the southeast like Texas, seeing those minimum temperature anomalies very, very warm for you there. Drought monitor showing that we need a little more rain across the Central Plains, but overall in the southeast, doing very well with the drought here and a little more drought out west, but particularly with that atmospheric river, California doing a lot better than we saw over previous decades here. Drought monitor in the Tallahassee area, seeing a little bit of moderate in our northwestern areas and a little bit on the dry side, but not really anything concerning for us, at least at this moment. For our satellite and radar, here is that what we're watching for our chance of storms up here in the Arkansas area. And we'll continue to watch that through the rest of the night tonight with coverage for severe weather after our show is done. Northeast, it's seeing a little bit of showers and thunderstorms, a little bit of cloud cover as well, but overall very nice for us today across the entire U.S. except for where we have that severe weather. And finally, just to wrap things up, we have our precipitation outlook over the next 6 to 10 days, seeing a little bit of that likely above over the southeast. So any of that drought probably going to be gone soon, Melissa.
Yeah, thankfully that rain is kind of needed here in the southeast right now. We have had some drought conditions, especially in Florida over the last couple days and last couple weeks. So something that's going to really help us out. Looks like we're skipping some graphics there. Our system's acting up a little bit. But we do have a severe weather risk today with an enhanced risk over Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and expanding across pretty much the entire southeast is seeing some kind of impact from the system. And that's going to be causing a lot of potential impacts. We have risk for tornadoes, hail, up to 1 inch, high winds up to 60 miles an hour, and localized flooding all possible. Our highest threat with the system is our winds. So that is the main concern here. Wind blowing down possibly power lines, trees, tree limbs, and causing damage there. But tornadoes are actually much more possible right now than they typically are on a given day. So it's still a big threat that needs to be kept an eye on. Make sure you're keeping an eye on what's going on and keeping on your weather channel radio to make sure you know any alerts that are coming in. We do have a lot of energy available in front of the system as it continues to move east, and that's where we're going to see that potential for severe weather start amping up as it continues to move over the area of energy that's just available for that storm to continue building and becoming stronger as it moves eastward. We do have a decent bit of wind shear over our more western part of the southeast. Wind direction changing along with that front, and that's going to help create that potential for tornadoes as we go into the next couple hours and into tomorrow. So also needs to be kept an eye on over the next few days. Tomorrow we do have that risk extending into Tallahassee with a Shrek colored green here standing for our marginal risk of severe weather going into tomorrow. So again, that is a chance for tornadoes, strong winds, hail, and some flooding possible. So just something to be aware of, but not as great seeing further out west. Day 3 on Sunday, still keeping that risk, but going down to a thunderstorm non-severe outlook for Tallahassee, so not quite as bad. But don't be afraid. If you do find in the line of a tornado, make sure you get into your house and go into the most interior part of your house, the hall, closet, bathroom. Avoid windows, doors, and outside walls, and cover yourself with a blanket. Or even better, if you do have a basement, I know it's rare in Florida, try to go there because that is the safest place for you to be. But Robert, we're going to move away from tornadoes. What's your favorite? Would you say hurricanes or tornadoes are better, being meteorologists we are?
They're both very interesting phenomena, and they're both phenomena that you really need to pay attention to if you are in the way of any of those phenomena. You need to really be taking that shelter, like we always say, that lowest level interior room, those green areas, like Melissa pointed out, very, very essential. But we're going to move a little bit off toward talk a little bit. We call it our Let's Nerd Out segment. We're going to talk about the Fujiwara effect. Now, you might have heard this a little bit a while back and a few hurricane seasons ago, and we have a few storms that got a little stronger, got a little close to each other. And you saw probably some memes on Twitter talking about how some of these storms, they could become a megastorm. They come together. Well, not quite. We're going to talk about what actually happens when you have two big tropical storms that are within 1,000 miles of each other. So it's called the Fujiwara effect. You have any interaction between cyclones within 1,000 miles of one another. It's named after a Fujiwara, a Japanese meteorologist who noticed this effect between two large cyclones within a similar area. Depending on the intensity and the size of those cyclones, they can rotate around one another. You see this happen very often when we saw it a few seasons ago. They can rotate around one another and one could absorb the other. However, what usually happens when these storms get close to each other is they often weaken. So you don't see this whole megastorm thing like you've seen on Twitter a few times, just to point out with the Fujiwara effect.
Thank you so much, Robert. We're going to take another look closer at Tallahassee this time. And as we see right there, there's an example actually of the Fujiwara effect where we're seeing this whole area here, the low pressure, there's two areas of low pressure and this was just a couple days ago off the coast of California. And we're going to take a look closer to home this time though, looking out at our Doak Campbell Stadium Skycam, looking absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a time change from a few weeks ago, but 78 degrees, partly cloudy, sitting gorgeous here in the capital city. Looking around the area, another beautiful day. Panama City, a little bit of cloud cover as we look off towards the coast. St. George Island, if you find yourself spending your Friday night there, I envy you. Right now with our radar, we are quiet. Just a couple pop-up little sparks just popped up, but nothing really to be worried about temperature-wise. Sitting 80s inland, lower 70s down near Apalachicola, 78 in Perry, 82 in Valdosta. Tonight's forecast, we're going to notice mid to upper 60s across most of the area, and clouds are going to be around throughout the night. So if you want to go stargazing tonight, might not be the best night to do that, but we are going to be looking quite nice. As our stargazing forecast does show, we have a waxing crescent tonight, but viewing conditions are going to be a little poor because those clouds are going to be around and are going to block your view of the stars. So feature radar, we're going to have winds out of the southeast, and then we're going to notice that front start to come in. That's going to pop up our chance for showers and storms. A couple of them may try to get a little feisty or severe, but we'll notice that by Saturday night, we'll be on the backside of that front, and we'll notice our winds continue out of the south, but our skies are going to be a little more clear than they were. So tomorrow's forecast, we'll notice storms for most of the area tonight. Tomorrow, with temperatures across the board, seeing in the low to mid 80s, a couple mid to upper 70s as well, especially the further east you get, and down by the coast where it's going to be a little bit cooler. But if you're flying out of Tallahassee right now, weather delays not likely, 78 degrees. But then as we get into the day tomorrow, we'll notice our chance for showers and storms are going to pop up. So our chance for delays might get a little worse. Tomorrow morning, 68 degrees. But as, again, the day goes on, we'll see that front pass through. So if you do have a flight out of Tallahassee tomorrow, maybe a chance for a little bit of delays or a little bit of interference. But Panama City Beach tomorrow's not the best day to be out and about because we're going to have a high UV index, but we're also going to see those showers and storms push through, bringing just not a great day to be out and about, 50% chance of rain with high rip currents. And remember, if you find yourself caught in a rip current, you want to kind of parallel yourself against the coast and get in with the current. It might seem weird, but that's the best way to survive the rip current. They are pretty deadly, as we've had a few accidents in the last few weeks. Grass pollen is pretty high right now, so if you find yourself sneezing like I do, you're going to keep sneezing, unfortunately. But relief is in sight with these showers and storms passing through Saturday. Come Sunday, we're going to be clearing up, and then as we start our week, we'll see a couple showers and storms around. But temperature-wise, we're going to be cooling off a little bit, getting back into the 70s before warming up mid to late next week. 81 degrees by next Thursday, but again, our rain chances are going to be decreasing as the week goes on. And then by Friday, 82 degrees for our high temperature, about 10% chance of rain. We'll see a few clouds build in at the end of next week, but I think overall, we're going to be looking pretty good. Chase?
Yeah, Ryan, the weather looks great for some of our sports events we're going to have here in Tallahassee. As you can see, it's going to be a gorgeous weekend. We're playing FSU baseball is actually playing Virginia at Virginia. It's going to be a great game. Hopefully, if you folks are, and if we have any fans of Virginia, you all come out and watch. Gorgeous temperatures start out the day, 52, and then we're going to climb to 60 and up into the higher 70s as that sun goes down. So a gorgeous day for baseball. Go out and have some Cracker Jacks and some hot dogs. Looking at beach volleyball, beautiful day for beach volleyball in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as FSU will be taking on Texas A&M. 78 by noon, and then slowly warming up into the lower 80s. So a gorgeous day to be out playing some beach volleyball. If you are in Louisiana and want to go out and support FSU, I'd recommend going. Looking at our women's tennis, gorgeous day for that. By noon, we're going to start out at 77, then we're going to climb into the lower 80s again. However, this one is here in Tallahassee. It's going to be a gorgeous day. Come out and support our fellow Seminole ladies. It's going to be a great game as they are taking on Virginia, so kudos to them. Men's golf, we're playing Valspar College, an invitational tournament. It's going to be in Tallahassee. It is going to be Monday. It's going to be a gorgeous day to start out, 66 degrees in the morning, and then climbing up into the upper 80s, so it will get pretty warm for you folks out there. So if you are going to go out and watch golf, I'd recommend bringing some water and putting on some sunscreen to protect yourself from those UV rays that can bring on sunscreen and the effects coming onto that. But now, taking a look around town, Summer, what's going on around Tallahassee?
Yes, Chase, thank you for that. Around Tallahassee, we're looking at nice conditions still. It's beautiful out. I recommend getting outside today because the sooner you get outside, tomorrow's going to rain. So right now we have clear skies, and it's definitely recommended to get outside. You can see a little bit of scatter, but overall it's beautiful out. We have the winds coming through, and as you can see, the clouds are rolling in tonight and through the morning. Tomorrow you're going to see this storm pushing up through, and Tallahassee is on the radar to get hit, and so is the Big Bend area. Tonight is going to be absolutely gorgeous. So it's going to be sitting in the 70s, and then we're going to drop down a little bit to the 60s. So if you get a little chilly, you may need a jacket. But overall, it's going to be a beautiful night out tonight, so I recommend getting outside. Looking at this gorgeous pup behind me, we have a beautiful morning tomorrow to walk, but get out early, otherwise your pup's going to get a little wet, and so will you. You may need an umbrella or a rain jacket. Midday, it may be a little nicer, but I would recommend getting out in the morning if you were going to walk your dog. Looking at the drive cast, we can see that it's going to rain midday, so in the morning, if you're going to get out early, go on a drive, and be very careful throughout the day. It's going to be raining, and driving in the rain can be miserable at times, so just make sure you're aware of that if you're going out tomorrow. And right now, we're clear. If you're flying out of Tallahassee, it's a beautiful night to fly. There's no delays at all. It's nice, clear conditions, and that's the same way across the states here. We have beautiful, beautiful conditions to fly tonight if you're going out. Stargazing is not great tonight. I wouldn't recommend stargazing tonight. There's pretty poor conditions. You're not going to see many stars if you try, but you're more than welcome to try. Tomorrow, or Sunday, we're looking at partly cloudy in the morning, and then the rain's going to pick up again. So if you're going out in the morning, I recommend bringing a rain jacket in case you get stuck in the rain later. But we're going to be sitting at a nice 84 degrees, as you can see, and there's a chance of rain, so make sure you have your umbrella and a rain jacket. Tallahassee in the weekend, we're going to see this rain coming through Saturday and Sunday. So just make sure you have a rain jacket and an umbrella. It's going to be beautiful outside though. Looking on Monday, it's going to be 85 degrees and pretty cloudy though, but overall it's going to be nice. And Tuesday we may see some lingering showers as well from this storm passing through. The conditions are going to cool a little bit down into the 60s in the morning and then about the 70s. And we're going to pass it off to the desk with Ryan to close the show.
Thank you so much, Summer. It's Friday, y'all. I think Rebecca Black once had a song, It's Friday, it's Friday. We're getting down on Friday. We're having a good time. We're celebrating here at FSU Weather, and we're also celebrating Summer's first show with us here on FSU Weather. I don't think I would have noticed. Summer didn't miss a beat. She's a natural, and what a great show we had in store for you today. If you do find yourself in the Southeast, I do want you to keep in mind that chance for severe weather is around today, and as we move through overnight hours, definitely keep your eye on the TV, keep your eye on weather alert radio, because you might find yourself under a tornado warning where you want to take your tornado precautions. We got into that a little bit earlier in the show about getting to the lowest level away from windows. Follow us on Twitter if you don't already, twitter.com/FSU Weather. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, facebook.com/FSU Weather, as well as YouTube. We are going to be leaving WFSU at the end of next week, so we'll still be here, but if you don't already, follow us on YouTube and also on Instagram at FSU Weather. And as well, we do have a TikTok account now, and you might see some funny behind-the-scenes moments that you won't get to see on air. And again, if you do find yourself watching us on WFSU, we are going to be leaving WFSU at the end of next week. But I hope you have a great night, and thank you so much for watching FSU Weather.